There is a lot of digital marketing and digital advertising agencies throughout the US. I see a new one pop up every day. But we stand out because of our community impact, our client relationships, delivering and doing what we say. That's a key thing, right? A lot of places will tell you, hey, we're going to do this. They don't communicate to you. We're in communication with you. You're going to always get that real small business feel from us. You're going to have ways to contact us, ask us questions, right? Because we want you to do better, but we want to be better every day as well. And we're always innovating. We're always coming up with new ideas, new ways to win, applying for new platforms, and even creating some of our own platforms is some of the stuff we have going forward. So I would say that's what sets us apart.
All right, everyone. Welcome to the Working Title Show. We're still
working on that,
working
folks.
title, I think, from now on. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
It's not a problem. Since I saw you last, I got a haircut for you guys just for this podcast.
Yeah.
You look good, man. You look good.
I went to my boy Mikey at Metropolis, and he's always amazing, and he can clean up the old barbarian. So
I love it.
I'll look like hell in about 2 weeks, but for right now, I'm okay.
Yeah. Well, you're
okay.
coming back next week. Maybe you need to do like our buddy Edgar Soto. He gets his haircut every week.
Oh, I can't look that sexy.
Yeah.
What's it like to have hair?
That's true.
Jeff's got a whole, he's got a ponytail.
Yeah, he's got
Can you donate some of that to me, please?
Yeah.
That's our benevolent Lex Luthor back there.
What'd you call him? Evil Scott?
Evil Scott. That's Scott Rob's brother. That's his older brother, right? Younger brother.
Yeah, he's the younger brother.
And I'm like, so of course Scott is very clean cut, right? And this guy's not like he's messy, but he's got the long hair, he's got the cool mustache. And then I say, what do you do for a living? He's like, oh, I teach piano and something about bicycles. I'm like, you really are the opposite Scott Rob.
Yeah.
It's the best. So, love it. Well, welcome aboard, sir.
And thanks for being here, Jeff. We appreciate it. Jeff's in training back there.
That's Clint Peak over here. Him and his wife run the Copper Creek Cookies.
Whoop, whoop.
We did a little. We all did a little staff lunch at Tacos Opson last Friday.
Good stuff.
Thought we did fine.
Yes, we did.
I got the carne asada. You and Dave got the double bacon hot dog.
Yeah.
That was a good touch. Wrapped
Really
with bacon,
good, yeah.
covered top with bacon.
You can never lose with extra bacon. I was telling you, it was phenomenal.
Yeah, it
Got
was.
the bacon
It really-
wrap and then the bacon on top of the beans. Yeah.
So I
game
got an
winner.
idea. Why don't we just call this show the Extra Bacon Show?
The extra bacon.
More
show.
bacon, please.
Right.
Yeah, I love it.
So true story. We created a graphic for the show as the Working Title Podcast.
Oh, beautiful.
What does it look like?
I'll show you later. I can't
Okay.
pull it in here right now.
Okay.
I was going to say, if we say extra bacon, maybe we can get Tacos Opson to be the advertiser.
And we can thank Anj for that. Our intern here. He
put it together?
for us. Yeah.
Anj, is that what we're calling him as a short?
Anupam? Yeah, I think he
Anupam?
likes it better.
Okay.
He likes Anj better?
Yeah.
And I've been working real hard to get his proper name.
I don't think you were
announced?
working hard enough.
Okay. Anj is way easier, I'll tell you that. Anj, are you okay with that? He's out in the other room. Maybe he'll give me a thumbs up. I'll go with Anj.
He's
for sure.
out there conquering
Hey,
the world.
let's go back real quick to the tacos on Friday.
Yes.
What's the DeSimone the DeSimone requirements for a solid Mexican restaurant? What are you rattled them off?
Oh, well, so you're talking about the indicators.
Yeah, the indicators. That's the word I'm looking for.
What's the indicators of a good Mexican
Yeah,
restaurant? First of all, usually the napkins that are in the dispenser have to be as thin as possible.
One ply, baby.
Right? Thank you. Like literally, if you made them thinner, they wouldn't exist. Right? It's that 1 micrometer. Right,
Yeah.
and they're stuffed in so bad,
Yeah.
right? That you're
Yeah,
ripping them all in
yeah,
half because
yeah.
it's too tight and too thin, right?
They met the requirement.
Now, this one's a little different. Usually, if there's a plethora of locally owned tire shops in the neighborhood, then you know you're where you need to be. Also, usually the better places don't have like fentanyl heads walking around, but they do have people walking around with homemade goods.
Yeah.
Right. So have you ever been offered the they call it like the Mennonite cheese? So I'm at my favorite place on South 12th. This is called El Merendero, owned by my friend Ramon Baon. And this is years ago. And this couple comes in, nice couple, and she has a shopping bag from Fry's, like a piece, like the one they give you with your groceries. And there was this giant chunk of white cheese, and she's like, queso? I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah.
Compre. I'm like, what? Right? And it's just this, I call it bathtub cheese.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when I see nice old ladies walking around with tamales or bathtub cheese,
yeah.
I know I'm still probably in the best.
Here's one
better
more.
area.
Here's
Yep.
one more.
Yep.
And the staff is either at the front door or the back door, just burning the stogies,
Just ripping cigs.
just
man.
ripping them one right after another.
There is
That
some
breaks
truth
a
to that.
short break.
There is some truth to that.
Hey, real quick, David and I used that yesterday. We didn't stop, but we went by where were we, David? At that point, we were probably on Flowing Wells.
we were on.
And we
La
drove
Cholla.
by tons of La Cholla, tons of tire shops along that stretch. And
Yeah.
we go, okay, where's the Mexican restaurant? And sure enough,
Yep.
on the other side of the street, we found, I don't remember the
El
name.
Nene.
Of it. There you go.
Sure. Absolutely.
One of the better spots too. Yeah.
Yeah, they do a nice job. Their hot dogs.
nice,
and their
nice
stuff.
job.
It hit me one day. Actually, I was in Phoenix with a buddy of mine visiting a client, and he's like, "Oh, let's go to this place." And I did notice that there was literally 4 tire shops
Yeah.
around. And I go,
Yeah.
"That's an
It's
indicator."
probably pretty good.
No matter what city you're in, local tire shop
There
should
you
be
go.
nearby.
Make a note of that,
The
folks.
local tire guys won't eat crap. Basically, is what we've learned. So
What do you got today, bud? He's got the hardware out. He's got the computer out. He's reading the fine print.
Got his sleeve up.
That's
He's
true.
ready to go.
Got a fresh trim.
one thing I want to talk about, and this is something we talk about on the Wake Up Tucson radio show, is why Marana.
Mm-hmm.
Right, you and I are both Oro Valley guys, and we spend an amazingly amount of time in Marana.
Yep. Yep.
And I know you have, through your local Marana and the work that you and Dave and the crew have done over the years, that you have you've built up the Marana tribe, right? And so for all you Marana tribers listening, as a guy who's an outsider to Marana, I just wanted to kind of have that discussion of why. As I say on Wake Up, Marana is the leading community in southern Arizona. There's no one close.
Unquestionably.
No one close.
Yeah.
Again, I'm an Oro Valley guy. I always tell the people who run that place, just be a really amazing suburb of whatever Marana is doing.
Yeah.
And it hit me, it got reinforced. I knew this, but it got reinforced. My friend Mark Van Buren and I, who does my movies, he's been in the hotel business for 40 years. Guy's amazing. And we were invited by the town of Marana to do this. We went with Ted from Dominic's. He was part of the crew. But it was like a little tourism junket to Gilbert. And I've had this discussion with Amanda at the Chamber and the folks in Marana saying, look, if there's a town we want to emulate, that's that agricultural town, right? Converting into suburbs and this kind of thing, it's Gilbert. To me, and Queen Creek too a little bit, but Gilbert definitely. So we went to their downtown. We hung out with their crew, saw how they did it. We went to this place called Agritopia that's owned by the Johnston family. He owns Joe's Real Barbecue in downtown and Joe's Farmland Grill, which is this amazing like agricultural mixed-use facility, right? And the number one thing that kept on coming up from not just the bureaucrats, but also all the business owners, the Gilbert Town Council gets it,
Yeah.
right? Elected leaders that got it, right?
I think that's where it starts, isn't it?
Yeah,
Your
it
leadership, whatever form of leadership, your community, tribe, wherever you're at.
And it's the will to
all
do the
about-
right thing.
Exactly. So it starts with the Ed Honeys and the John Post and
It does.
Patty Comerfords, and I don't want to leave anybody out here. John Officer, spoke with John just a couple of days ago.
Who's everyone else?
Herb
Roxanne.
Kai and Roxanne and Jackie Craig,
There you go.
who's currently on the council.
But that will is amazingly important, right? The city of Tucson, which is right now the loser community of Southern Arizona, they have 7 elected officials who don't. 7 out of 7 who don't are just quite the opposite.
Yeah, and we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about mention town manager Terry Rosemont.
Well, Terry gets
you know,
it also.
Yeah, and they get Andrea. They lived there. They grew up there. Most of them.
But it rolls downhill
But it
from
rolls
Mayor
down
Ed
from
and the
the
crew.
start, yeah.
It does. So any of these we talk about school districts, whether or not they're going to be good or not, right? We always say hire a good superintendent who hires good principals and do it.
We just
That's where
had
it
two.
starts.
David, shout out the names. We just had two educators right here.
Yeah.
30 minutes ago.
We had Gary Landis and Nikki Simpson from Twin Peaks K through 8.
Nice.
They were killing it.
Like I
They
said.
get it.
And again, Marana, I told you, we keep talking about the only public school district I know in the entire state of Arizona that publicly admitted as a school board that they were teaching reading incorrectly, and they were going to fix it.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. That's amazing.
You know, I have mentioned your Mississippi Miracle story that you brought to the table last week.
Yep.
Go back and we won't rehash it, but we'll make it available. It was last Wednesday.
Yep.
That is such an incredible story. And where does it start? It starts with leadership.
Yep. You can
The
read it
willingness to commit to what we're going to do. We're going to put a little money, and to me, 15 mil to change a
from the
whole
state of Mississippi.
a whole culture in a decade. They went, and fortunately, a decade ago, they realized, hey, we got a problem. We better head this off. But that is an incredible story. They went from basically the bottom in reading, just to kind of wrap it up,
Yeah.
to the top in reading in a decade nationwide. Is that fair?
No,
summation?
it is. And now Maryland's jumping on board.
And by the way, they did it for $15 million a year, which is just
for a budget that's probably
chump
8
change.
to 10 billion.
Yeah, it's just chump change in the big picture.
So I was talking to someone recently. As you know, I think that most business associations you join that say they're into advocacy.
Yeah.
No, networking's different. You want to join the Marana Chamber for networking, great.
Yeah.
Okay. But the ones that are in the middle part of Tucson or anywhere else that you're at that say they do advocacy, because they obviously don't. Right? They kind of. So what I told this one guy, I go, all right, tell me for the ones that you've joined for that say they do advocacy, how much are you spending a year on dues? He said like $2,000. And then that wasn't even included like the fees that go to a meeting or anything like that. So let's say it's $3,000. But forget about it. Keep the $1,000 in your pocket. That $2,000. I said, you really want to change your community by advocacy because you think that's why you're there, right? I would be better off having 50 of those people quit those places and take the $2,000 and put it into a PAC that supports pro-literacy school board members.
See, there you go,
You'd be
making
better
sense,
off
Chris.
You'd be better off doing that.
That's your whole thing. Now you got me. Now,
Yeah.
wait, would you stop with this common sense stuff?
Yeah.
You're the one that changed my thinking on education. Why aren't we taking? And I don't know what the ESA number. It seems to be floating now, but it was 7. Okay, 10 parents get together. You got $70,000. I said, well, let's do 10 get together. Now you got $700,000. That's a pretty good starting space.
Yep.
Place. Now you can do the same. That's something that people should really think about. Take your $2,000, get with 10 other like-minded individuals, right?
Yep.
And go to work. Get some stuff because there's nobody looking out for the little guy.
If you vested $20,000 in a school board election, you can make a difference.
Absolutely.
I highly recommend working with the pros at LTD Media to help you with that.
There you go.
Thank
Beautiful.
you. Shameless
Shameless plugging. We have no problem with that.
But again, Marana, why? Again, for all of you that maybe you don't even know this, right? It is not just attitude, right? It's you have the idea that all of your open field running space is along a giant interstate, okay? And thank Jesus, you get to grow into Pinal County and get away from Pima County. Like if I had a dream, right? I would have, if I could have Marana and Oro Valley move into Pinal County and get out of Pima.
Dude,
right?
come on.
I mean, that would be.
You're the only other person I've heard say that.
That'd be a dream.
I have actively pushed that
Yep.
over the last probably 4, 5, 6 years. It's just, by the way, it's stonewall. Nobody wants to hear that.
So I said it on Wake Up like 12 years ago, okay? And I said, I've had some discussions about how this can work and blah, blah, blah. And it's so funny. It was like some rubber chicken luncheon that me and Mayor Ed went to. And when he wasn't even in the discussion with me, I didn't even mention his name, right? I just said Marana and Oro Valley. And I remember him telling me that one of the elected officials from Pima County got in his face and said, what do you mean you guys are trying to get the hell out of the county?
Well, what does that tell you?
Oh, they know.
What does that tell you right there? That should be the indicator.
Plus, it would rob them of 30% of their
Exactly.
tax income.
You know what, Chris? Maybe you and I ought to double down on that.
We got so many things to double on, man. For God's sakes.
Well, but you know what? Honestly,
I tell them that all the time.
Yeah.
But no, it's only in the messaging. We're not going to be able to make it happen. But the reality of it is, what do we got to lose?
Yep.
Because you and I couldn't. The Chris DeSimone and Clint Peake can't make this happen.
Yep.
Right? But the people that we talk to could make it happen.
Yeah,
I don't think they've even thought about it
I
mentioned it to
the
them.
other thing that could help Marana is they're growing. If they continue to grow into Pinal County, they could make the case that half our town's now in Pinal County.
Well, that'd be the simple way to do it, wouldn't it?
Yep. So they can do it without.
Oro
any
Valley
rigmarole.
could actually do it too, the same way.
Yeah, Oro Valley again.
Yeah.
We're in no growth mode right now, so we're
full disclosure. Chris sleeps in Oro Valley, and I sleep in Oro Valley.
Yep.
But I live in Marana.
Pima County. So Marana's like a wild cheetah out there doing its thing, right? Oro Valley is a turtle with its poor little head in the corner.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, we're all hunkered in.
It is.
Don't change anything. We don't want any growth.
So if you live in Marana, be proud of it. You are in the best town in southern Arizona.
I agree.
My operations guy at the station, Greg, he used to live in East Tucson.
Mm-hmm.
And just by listening to Wake Up Tucson and understanding this, him and his wife just moved into a house in Dove Mountain.
Beautiful.
And they're like, why did we do this 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Right?
I'm going to say it out loud. Excuse me. If I were younger, it'd probably be a no-brainer. I just don't want to move because I'm old and I don't want to move again.
Well, and also you built your network here.
But I probably will. Tammy and I have at least broached that conversation recently. We might move in because I wouldn't have to move 2 miles. You wouldn't have to move 2 miles to the west to be actually in Marana.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, sure.
I mean, we're that close to being in Marana, so
again, Marana's
on the
built
docket.
Still needs to get to a point where a lot of people who live work in these because Eloy and Casa Grande are killing it with a job creation.
Yeah.
So a lot of those people are living down in Marana, right? So that's good. I mean, it's one of the few communities that if you're a young guy or girl trying to start a family, you could find a good job between here and Casa Grande and live in a real town. But other than that. If you're a young person just starting out, and you're like, I want to live on Speedway and Campbell. Yeah. Oh, why don't you go punch yourself in the groin?
If you live in Marana and you work in Eloy, Casa Grande, the commute would be actually probably shorter and easier to just cruise up there.
32 minutes on the highway?
Well, it takes you that long to get downtown Tucson with all the traffic.
Hey, I'm just going to throw in there for the young folks, Tucson is a great place to protest.
Thank you.
Throw that in there.
That's true, and watch people defecate on the corner.
Yeah.
So. Why not?
I'm not kidding. I don't go south the river very much. I really don't. There's nothing down there for me. But the few times that I do venture out,
I go down there because I have friends who have really amazing restaurants, and that's where they're at.
It's sad. It really is sad. Edgar was talking about it the other night. He's sodafied. They took over the studio last Monday, and they will again this next coming Monday, 6 o'clock.
Beautiful.
So soda for supervisors. So that plug in there for our buddy Edgar. But he was talking about that very thing. You can't drive on any street really in Tucson proper. Every corner is like just everything is overran by the fentanyl users.
Years ago, we called it Pliskin Acres after Snake Plissken from Escape from New York, and that's what it's become.
It's just I know a lot. People would say, "Well, that's happening in a lot of big cities," and I know it is. David just came back from Seattle; he saw that. Portland's that way. Phoenix has some of that. They've done a little better job, like at least containing it. But
the city of
Tucson's
Phoenix
everywhere.
The city of Phoenix and Tempe are the worst. And it's because of local government.
Exactly.
Right?
It's all about leadership.
Will. It's the will of whether or not you want to tackle these situations, or do you want to have a good environment for your families to thrive.
And what happens? The people that care and want better educations for their kids or a better way of life, you know what they do? They just run to the suburbs.
Of course.
They run to Marana.
It's becoming the bubble.
I got to chime in here. So when I was in Seattle, there was not a lot of homelessness or unhoused in the city or anywhere.
Where were you?
I was actually surprised. I was in Seattle.
But like all over
over.
Seattle?
All over.
Over there around SeaTac?
I went to the
homeless
industrial
people
area. I went to just like the crevices and nothing.
Were you out around the airport?
Yeah, well, I flew in from the airport.
And you didn't see homeless there?
No. I counted 2 people the whole time I was
Really?
there. Yeah. So there's
Well,
something
they
going
must
on
be
over there.
cleaning. They must maybe. What are they doing up there? Are they just hanging
don't
out
know.
in the coffee shops, or what are we doing now?
I went to a coffee shop and there's nobody in there.
So the Starbucks on First and Wetmore, about a year ago they closed their dining room because they were getting assaulted constantly by fentanyl freaks coming out of the Huckleberry Trail and all that other jazz. So it's still closed to this day,
Wow.
as far as I know.
I did notice some interesting housing things there, though. I didn't really get time to look, but there was some spots under some of the big buildings where there was like an open service to help individuals where they could
We're
just
going to have
walk
to
in.
do a little research on that
But
because
yeah, I was extremely surprised at how clean Seattle was, as opposed to what we've seen on social media and stuff like that. I was actually really, really, really surprised because it was not like that. I saw police out and about doing their thing, some on foot. Like I don't know. It was interesting.
All right. Well,
I have no investment there, but I
Yeah.
just was visiting for vacation. I'm like, oh, this was pretty sweet.
well, you know that Grants Pass case in the Supreme Court
Yeah.
opened up that
Yeah.
you can not kill, but I was going to say kill camping, get rid of people who are camping on public.
Yeah.
And maybe they finally take
see.
Portland's the worst.
yeah.
Those guys. The story just came out that Portland's so lawless right now that people are literally driving their cars through the parks like it's like going through the baseball field.
Four-wheeling.
Yeah. I mean, that's where we're at. So, all right. Well, anyway, Marana, you guys are the leading community for real basic reasons. All right. So last week we talked about old time baseball. We were talking about how I stopped talking about baseball after 1990, and we didn't even get to Willie McGee and Whitey Herzog and small ball.
Number 51.
But I was thinking
The White
about
Rat.
the one thing that does again, you have trade-offs, right? Winter in Tucson, Marana, Oro Valley is amazing. Mm-hmm. Summer sucks.
Yep.
Right? But it does change like as growing up as a kid. Right? Just
Yeah,
first
it's
of all,
backwards. You growing up in New York, me growing up in the Midwest.
right? There's
Just dreaded September. Like, oh my gosh, it's going to be so cold till April.
And I think it's something that, and then don't get me wrong, technology and all the things we talk about changing kids' childhoods are totally two different worlds, right? But there was a time about those 90 days of being off in summer where you could go out and do stuff with your friends was also a really important part of your development. Yeah. Right? It's where you got on your bike and you and your buddies drove 8 miles, and it was part of that independence from your parents. And now, between always parents being scared you're going to be snatched by a guy in a broad battle van, right? And at the same time, it's 112 degrees out.
Yeah.
You're not going to get too far on your
Isn't that
on your
amazing?
bicycle with your crew.
I'm thinking, like you just said, of course, I grew up in a rural area. We started driving vehicles when we were 13.
Right.
So the bikes took like a back seat to Dad's pickup or whatever it was.
But that sense of independence.
Absolutely.
I was thinking about this with summer because we would ride our bikes everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
And when you said 8 miles, you really weren't exaggerating.
No.
Everywhere you went was 8 miles.
And so we talk about helicopter parents are a problem, right? But the amount of freedom that we had as kids, especially during our summer vacations, was just an amazing part of developing you as a soon-to-be young adult.
You know what, Chris? And none of us got killed or snatched, or there was a few broken bones mixed in there and poor choices. But it was, I want to jump on something you said, and I want to, because it came up today. And it was something you and I were talking about, and you brought it up about sports and why maybe you don't follow baseball specifically and other sports as much because the personalities are gone.
Yeah.
So David asked me in the podcast earlier today if I planned on watching the Olympics, which start apparently today. The Paris Olympics start today, and I said no. And I got to thinking about it through the course of that conversation with Scott and Jeff and David and. You know why I think I don't watch it like I used to? Because I remember, to date myself, the USA losing to the Russians when they just kept giving the Russians the ball with no time left.
Jeez,
just
that's
to
a long time ago.
Here, the last basket wins and you get the ball.
Yeah.
until you win. But it was all about, it was personality driven. And we as a United States, a nation, promoted these athletes. I think that's one of the reasons why, because I haven't noticed that recently promoting. There's a few of the gymnasts, which never was my bag to begin with, really. But Mary Lou Retton, I mean, I think she's a grandmother now. So
Sure.
does that make sense to you?
Well,
You mentioned the lack of personalities in baseball, and I'm like, I think that's a big. Mark Spitz. Everybody knew this dude was in the Olympics. Phelps Phillips. What's his name? Phillips.
The swimmer?
The swimmer.
Phelps.
Yeah, Phelps.
Yeah.
Didn't he at one point live in Scottsdale or Phoenix?
Possibly.
Yeah.
But
We knew who they were and what they were doing. It was breaking news. They were personalities. I don't see that coming out of the Olympics now.
really, so if you think about the last 3 or 4 Olympics, right, winter and summer, who do you remember?
Exactly.
So Simone Biles, the gymnast, of course, she's pretty amazing
That's
at what
who
she
I was
does.
trying to think of earlier.
Right,
That's
so
who I
she's
was trying
pretty
to think. Yeah.
amazing, and she's been. I'm not saying she has this amazing personality, but she's noticeable. She's been
That's
very
what I was trying
exciting
to
to
think of,
watch.
and I
Right.
couldn't remember her.
So after we got Simone. Cool. Boom. What do I got next?
Yeah. Where's my crickets, David?
And the other thing too is, of course, is that we had great Olympic athletes that turned out so well later. What was that guy who won the decathlon again? He was on the Wheaties
Jenner.
box. That's-
Yeah, it turned out real well, didn't it? Oh, wait a minute. Not Jenner. Not
It's still
Bruce.
Jenner. Caitlin.
Caitlin. Sorry.
I woke up every
Just
morning.
a heads up.
Oh my God! It's Evil Scott's
It's
in the
Evil
chair.
Scott's in charge.
Oh my
now,
Lord!
So there might be a little delay on some of the sound effects as I familiarize myself with the pads.
I love seeing him sitting there. Way to go, Jeff. Oh, I love that. Move, David. I got work to do. I love it.
That is amazing. So, just so you guys, I want everyone to know who we're talking about here. So when I saw him, I'm sitting there going, is it this Mr. Spock? With the
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God.
Mustache, goatee.
Is that the mirror, Mr.
Yeah,
Spock?
yeah.
So, but
That's hilarious.
so I just remember,
Does that make sense, though? I think that's because at one point, and you know what? Also, competition. There's a lot of competition for
and a lot of these
eyeballs.
people, when you watch them, are just amazing at what they do, right? But after for some reason I've always been more of a Winter Olympics guy than
Yeah.
a Summer Olympics
Yeah.
guy. But some of the track and field stuff when they get to their final
Yeah.
is pretty wild, and
yeah.
they're just amazing athletes.
yeah,
Watching what these guys and girls can do.
Are you planning on watching the Summer Olympics? Much of it?
A little?
Okay.
You know what it is. I got.
There's only 24.
There's some truth to that, and
I think there's a lot of that, but I think
Well, there's
when-
nothing on other than, I know for you baseball kids, but for me as a guy who likes to watch sports, for the next, my soccer doesn't start for another 3 weeks for real. So I'm not going to.
Hey, Scott's not with us. He left earlier. He's still with us.
Replaced
but
by his evil
he's
brother.
Replaced by Jeff, but he alerted me Saturday.
Thank you. There. Look at that. Look at that.
He alerted me Saturday that the game was on, and here's what sucks.
What game?
For me? The Cub game.
Oh,
Do you know I am blacked out
San
when
Diego?
they play San Diego, and I'm blacked out when they play the Diamondbacks from the Cubs. And I paid quite a bit of money for this. How far am I from San Diego?
A long
Drive,
while.
7 hours. And I can't get the Diamondbacks on regular TV down here without a subscription.
Yep.
Well, now double sucks for me because they play those guys like.
Well, the good thing for you is the Cubs play 500 games a year, so you'll be fine.
Well, and then you know what really sucks? Last night was a tough one, man. Rain delay. They yeah.
Rain delay.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Imagine that in Chicago. They're frustrated. This may be the most frustrating Cubs team I have ever seen.
Oh my God, we're moving into Cub talk. I love it.
I mean, really, because a lot of years you just didn't expect much from them. This year, I had really pretty high expectations for these guys because they got a really solid.
If you keep talking about the
pitching
Cubs,
staff.
I'm going to fall asleep. You got to stop.
But they're frustrating. They're the most underperforming
Thank you.
team in the major leagues this year. Okay, I'm out.
Even Evil Scott agreed with me there. What was your favorite thing to do in the summer? And if you're watching this right now and you want to tell us what's your kind of cool favorite memory of doing summer as a young person,
Yeah, jump in here.
use the interwebbings out there to make it happen and join us.
Hanging out with hanging out with your friends.
Doing
riding your
what?
bike. We played a lot of ball. We went swimming. We built a fort in the woods. You know.
I love it. So for me, it was we had the public pool.
Okay.
Right, I had your little pass.
Okay, and you had the public pool.
Yeah.
We had the strip pits.
Explain the strip pits.
Okay, it's coal
Sounds
mining.
like a club on Van Buren.
Yeah. Where I lived was a lot of coal. They'd go in and they'd strip it out, and some of these things were actually fairly dangerous because they'd be 50 feet deep. You're walking ankle deep, and the next thing you are 50 because just a big bucket would go down.
Who would fill it with water?
And God.
Beautiful. The best kind of
And
water.
clean, pristine.
So it's like in the movie Breaking Away.
Yeah.
Right,
A lot of
that
was rock quarries, but yeah.
Yep. That's what that kind of
was
reminds me
And
of.
at one point, and I mentioned building clubs. We build clubs in those areas. We take, our parents' lawnmowers and trimming stuff, and we'd build like little fortresses in the woods. And I went back one time, maybe 10, 15 years after I'd moved away, and it was still there. People were still had a little park area inside the tree line there, and
Love it.
And there were probably there might have been 200 of these. Some of them were big,
Right.
big enough to put boats on, and fish somehow ended up in it. I'm not sure how that really happened. I don't know if God put fish in there,
Never know.
but some of them were really cool. There was some danger involved especially if you didn't know the water, because it could get you in trouble.
I have that
pretty quick.
memory of when we get to the pool, you'd take your towel, fold it, right? Took your bathing suit and you rolled it up. Mm-hmm. And then I had the rat trap on the back of my bike. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Put it in there.
I'd forgotten we
Right,
had those.
and then take the rat trap and go to the. And I did a lot of fishing in New
Okay,
York.
fishing.
So we had a pond near our house that had like some largemouth bass and carp and things and sunfish or crappies or crappies, as we like to say in
They're
the class.
good.
Yep.
Crappies are good.
So we had that, and then I lived on Long Island. and
Long
so
Island.
We were like a 10-minute car ride to the North Shore of Long Island where you can go fishing all over the place. So that was a huge memory. And then I played a lot of summer baseball.
See, we had the
Lot
same
of
childhood,
summer
just
ball.
in different locales.
Yeah.
A lot of summer ball.
We probably played 40 games during the summer, double headers and night.
And then when
things
you
like
weren't
that.
playing, you were playing catch with in my case, my brother, maybe you
We
with
played
your
wiffle
brother.
ball.
Wiffle ball, the
and
pitch back.
We did play stick ball, like real stick ball against the side of a school. So in New York, this is how you were allowed to paint on a side of the gym wall a square for stick ball for a strike zone.
How convenient.
If you did that now, they'd of course
yeah,
arrest you.
Yeah.
Part of the culture, right?
We played, matter of fact, I can remember at Opdyke Gymnasium, we'd leave the back door open a little bit so we could go in and play.
Yep. Oh,
in
of course.
the summertime, No fencing of any sort.
Correct.
You could play on the baseball field or the outdoor basketball court or
Yep.
the monkey bars or any of that. And we spent a lot of time, even
too.
as young, maybe not, by the time we got to be teenagers, we probably weren't hanging out on the monkey bars, but you'd play in the gym. And it would be open during the evening.
Yep.
I remember like the dads, the men would play the kids, and I'm looking back at those guys now. They were all like 30.
Sure.
And we were like,
Beating the hell out of
50, yeah.
12-year-olds on a basketball court.
no, actually they didn't. They beat us up, but and you know what? I think that was part of the reason why, as young men, we were pretty good at what we did because we were playing against young men.
I was better, 2 notches better at sports than I should have been because of an older brother. My brother Joe, right, 3.5 years older. He was an amazing baseball pitcher and basketball player, and so he was my number one competition.
yeah.
As him and I like to say, we've had 10,000 one-on-one
Yeah.
games in the back, and
Yeah.
and about 300 of them, one of us walked off the court calling the other one a cheater.
Yeah.
So.
Well, only
Classic
300 out of 10. Yeah,
classic
that's not
brother,
bad. Yeah.
classic
Yeah,
brother
I have
stuff.
a brother. I understand. I'm a little bit older, but
But
I get it.
so I think the summer dynamic's different than ever because just of the way of the world, right? It's easier to throw your kid in front of the computer playing.
Okay, we got
playing
2 young men
Fortnite.
in there. Let's get there. What'd you guys do in the summer?
Well, first I have to break some Marana news.
Wow.
We just got an alert that we want to be the first to break it here, but Alejandro's serious Mexican food has closed down. As officially, they made a post today about it. So just to let our listeners know that.
Wow.
This is going to sound horribly rude. Where was Alejandro's?
Silverbell, wasn't it?
Cortero
Yeah.
and Silverbell.
Oh, okay. Oh, this
Right
is
in that Prize Plaza,
this is the
correct?
place that's literally 2 doors down from our my Asian Spice place.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, that
Yep.
sucks.
So that was our breaking news. But as for, I could really relate to Chris, your story about having an older brother, as we know my good Scott. He was a good brother too. You know, he let me tag along with him. He's older than me by 3 years.
Oh, looky there.
But I think just the whole fact that he would let me play with him and all his friends, it really gave me an advantage. It kind of separated me from my peers. But I just remember the big difference between what I saw with kids in high school nowadays versus when Scott and I were growing up is whenever we had free time, we would call all of our friends and we would all get together and play sports. Like it was something where we could get 10 friends together easy and have 5-on-5 basketball going just with me and my friends. We would do this before school. We would do this in the summer. I definitely remember the 4-hour doubleheaders of baseball in summer league, playing 100 degrees. I felt bad for my parents having to watch that.
Yep.
But that's what I remember mainly is I had access to a bunch of friends who were waiting for me to call, or I was waiting for them to call. And the second they would call, we would all get together, and we were playing football in the park. We were playing basketball. We were playing whatever ball sport we could get our hands on. And I feel like that's the biggest difference between me and high school kids now is that I have thousands more reps than they had at this point. And a lot of it is just because of our casual, the way our hobbies were. They were still just focused around sports.
Amen.
Hey, Scott, Jeff, real quick. You are probably, I'm going to just guess, knowing kind of how old Scott is, you're probably between 43 and 44, roughly, right?
Yeah, 43.
Yeah. And you mentioned getting together. So there's a generation between Jeff and myself, and you're in the middle.
Yeah.
So I think that's where it kind of ended, because when you said you could get together with 10 of your friends and play basketball,
He's talking about
what would happen?
Mid-90s, right?
Yes. You know what would happen now? Some jerk of an adult would come over and going to coach you guys up and going to organize that. There was no adults when we were playing. When you were out
think
playing,
also,
right, Jeff, in these games that you're playing, there's no adults involved. It's just a bunch of kids playing. His lips are moving, and I think he's agreeing with me.
These noobs.
Hey! It was 100% facilitated by the kids.
Maybe the older brother or somebody.
So one of the
Same
things
with you, right?
Yeah, one of the things I've hit with Oro Valley management over there, I don't know if Marana does this, is that whatever it costs you, keep the lights on the field in the summer. Even if some team isn't paying for it, leave it on, because you should create that culture that when it's it cools off and it's not 100 degrees out and it's pitch black out, you should be able to go. I think it'd be a great thing if I had kids that were that young, that at least I know at like 7 o'clock we can go to Naranja or whatever and have them run around and be a kid.
Yeah.
But
rather than sitting home playing their video games is
very seductive.
Yeah.
Very seductive, those video games.
I was coaching for Palo Verde for a little while, baseball, and regularly kids would miss practice because of a gaming tournament that they had committed to already. So the priorities are different.
Call of Duty esports, bro. Screw your baseball, bro.
Let the kids play. I mean, I guarantee you, and I played a lot of baseball like you guys did, but I guarantee you probably 90% of my baseball activity, there were no adults anywhere.
Yeah, like I said,
it's
the evolution or de-evolution of childhood.
Right.
And I think the way, again, that 90 days of summer.
Yeah.
And as we're heading into back to school, which is coming up next week, one of the things that pisses me off I always loved first day of school, taking your kids to school, especially in there's like this sense of
I know
promise.
it. Like,
and,
I'm so glad that we're going to have martini bar
yeah,
after
I hate
it.
that when
Stop
parents
it.
say, "Thank God I'm getting rid of my kids."
Stop it. That's
Like,
stupid.
are you insane? My kids, I love school as a kid.
Hey, one
Yeah.
more thing about the kids playing together and
Yes, sir.
no adults. One more thing. Guess what? There were no umpires. There were no arbitrators. You had to figure it out on your own.
That's why
There was no one stepping in and going, "Hey, Chris, that was a strike."
So,
hey, Chris, he was
So
safe.
stickball was always tough because it was a rubber ball or a tennis ball hitting a wall, right?
Mm-hmm.
So anything that was on the corner was the pitcher had to go honor system. Wiffle ball, the strike zone was a metal lawn chair.
Okay, right?
If it made a sound, it was a strike.
Yeah, right. We
If
got
it made-
kind of sophisticated as young adults. We actually built. My buddy Kevin Brown built a strike zone that was portable, and
Wow.
you could take it anywhere you wanted.
And if you're playing wiffle ball and you're not playing with the ball that has the holes on only one
stop
side,
it.
you're playing with a perforated ball. You're just special. That's all I'm going to tell you. And you had no respect from us.
And you know what?
one-sided.
And you got to have the skinny yellow bat.
Yes.
Anything else?
Not that red Bam Bam
yeah,
bat.
you could put a little tape on the handle if you thought you needed it. But the skinny yellow bat with the perforated ball, and you played with it basically till it disintegrated.
Correct. And you could I could throw that 5-foot curve.
Real hard.
Oh, I did it all.
It was a
beautiful.
part-time job as a young adult.
Yeah.
We gambled on it. And
That's my favorite. One
I'm-
of my favorite thing to do as a kid was probably wiffle ball.
Yeah.
It was so much fun.
And I got a Rick Walker. I'm going to shout you out. I'd rather take $5 from you. It was $1 back in the day than $100 from you, Chris.
I love it. All right, so just like last week, I decided maybe the third thing. I'm always building it in threes, right? What we do on this show. And last week, I drove you and Dave crazy with those fake news stories, whether that they were real or not.
Okay, bring it on.
So I figure I want
ready,
the
Jeff.
third thing will always be some sort of interactive trash from the internet. Will be the third part of working title.
Okay.
Ready? We're gonna do the Clint Peak personality quiz.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, here we go. Bring it. Just what everybody wanted. Oh, yeah. Okay. You just noticed a complete drop of viewership right there.
Untrue. Look how red you're getting. I feel like you're worried about this. Look how red he is
I'm
right
red
now.
all the time. I'm really red in the red lights, by the way.
If you had to live alone on a desert island, what would be the only item? And you can only have one item. Would it be your favorite novel, a fishing pole, a box of matches, or a 50-pound bag of rice?
Give it to me again. I think I know the answer.
Favorite
to this. A
novel, fishing pole, 50-pound bag of rice, or a box of matches?
Yeah.
No Bob Denier jerseys.
Yeah. I'm gonna go fishing pole because I like to eat.
All right, fishing pole.
Yeah.
Nice. Which
I
food-
love reading, by the way, but one novel. I mean,
I'm going to name 4 foods. You're going to tell me which one sounds the most appealing to you
okay.
right now.
Okay.
Creme brulee,
Okay.
potato chips,
Yeah.
scrambled eggs, broccoli casserole. Now, if you say broccoli casserole, I'll punch you right in the leg.
I like broccoli, but no. Creme brulee, potato chips, or what was the third one?
Scrambled eggs.
Scrambled eggs. Yeah. I like potato chips,
All right.
but I like all those things.
Pick
right
one.
there.
Pick
But
one.
I'll go.
What are you running for office here? Pick one.
I'll go potato chips.
All right. There we go. I've never done this before. I don't
Yeah.
know what kind of crap's coming out at the
No,
end.
it's
but-
going to be wild.
Prettiest color combo: green, yellow, pink, red, green, white, blue, brown. Green and yellow, pink, red, green, white, blue, brown.
Those. None of them sound attractive, really.
You gotta pick one.
I'll go with the first one. Just
Green, yellow.
Green,
CDO,
yellow.
green, yellow.
Yeah, there you go.
Packers.
Well, now that you say that,
McCluskey's yelling at the screen right now.
yeah. You know, my favorite, really, I love a combo of like red and black. Red and black is
The closest I got is red and pink.
Yeah, no, that ain't gonna cut
Green
it.
and yellow?
No, green and yellow. What the
All
heck?
right, go pack. What item of clothing do you have the most? Scarves, shoes, jackets, or underwear?
This is easy. Shoes. Shoes. I got boxes of these shoes in the closet.
What
right now.
animal do you think is the cutest? Pandas, koalas, dogs, or pigs? Pandas, koalas, dogs, or pigs?
Well, I like my dogs, but I don't know the cutest, so I'll go. Pandas are cute.
Okay.
Koalas are cute. I mean,
You know what is amazing on the interweb, like Instagram and these various little short video
Yeah.
things? The amount of like amazingly funny animal videos
Yeah,
is
oh,
just
They get me every time.
It's almost like I can't believe there's this many incidents of
they get me every time. The animals, especially if they're like a monkey or something that's moving around.
there's always one
It's,
of a panda like falling over, you know, at some poor Chinese
yeah.
zoo
What's
or
the
something.
other one? The cats that fall over. You know, they're falling asleep.
Favorite sport?
Wow.
Baseball's not on it.
Okay, well then,
So,
second favorite sport.
So it gives you options of each one. So it's tennis, soccer, swimming, football, lacrosse, basketball, volleyball, or hockey. So you guys should choose one of those.
I'll go football.
All right.
Whatever the football one
Okay.
is.
Got
Hey,
that.
you know, I never take these tests, so actually this is kind of fun for me. People post their results online.
Again,
Yeah.
I want to concentrate on some sort of fun internet trash to end the
this
show.
This is kind of fun for me. I never do
Favorite
these.
soda: Mellow Yellow,
No.
Coca-Cola,
No.
Diet Pepsi, Orangina.
Yeah, I don't drink soda. So
If you had to pick
would you
one,
say Coke?
there's Diet Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola. I'll go Coke.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't drink soda.
Okay, I don't either. But what's the color of your hair?
Brownish.
Yeah.
Brownish gray.
Gotcha. Would you,
That would change this.
what would you choose between music and sports? So you had to choose one. You could do both or none. I assume sports over music.
I don't know. I like music. I'd do both.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your first concert you ever went to?
This is pretty wild. I'm pretty sure this is right because I've been to a lot of concerts. But,
Carpenters?
No. Yeah, no. I've never been to those. Let me think of the name of the Ozark Mountain Daredevils at Mount Vernon High School.
Oh, my Lord.
By 1972. Jackie
Bluegrass?
Blue, yeah. Blue. They were a unique band out of Missouri.
Okay.
And the real quick story.
Sure.
There's this like 4-piece band. They're country bluegrass. They did Jackie Blue. It was like their biggest hit. Was
Okay.
Jackie Blue. A lot of fun stuff. So it's like this 4-piece country bluegrass band, and they played at the Mount Vernon Auditorium. I'm pretty sure they were the first one I actually saw.
Best concert.
Wow, that's a good Bruce Springsteen.
Where was this at?
I saw him 4 or 5 times all at the same
okay.
time. Southern Illinois, St. Louis, Carbondale.
Same tour?
Same tour. I was working in a record store, and a little guy named Mitch Silverstein was from New Jersey and knew Bruce. And Bruce came in the record store and kind of hooked us up with some back room. Mitch is the nephew of Shel Silverstein.
Oh, wow. The author. The kid's author.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And so I would say Bruce Springsteen and this is when The River had just been released.
I gotcha.
Bruce was becoming the boss.
All right.
And the dude that had the energy like you cannot believe.
That's
Another
awesome.
really good one. Come on, add one more.
Yeah.
Linda Ronstadt. I saw Linda Ronstadt at her height. And you notice I didn't mention the Eagles, who is still my favorite band, despite the Big Lebowski not digging them. But I still, if I had to pick one band, I was hoping you'd ask me that. Take one band with you to the island.
Well,
I think I'd take the Eagles because they played such a wide variety of stuff. They were bluegrass kind of at the beginning, blue and country, and then they became kind of hard rock at the end. So.
All right. Not all good choices. Favorite movie genre: action, romance, horror, sci-fi.
Again?
Action, romance, horror, sci-fi.
Yeah, I'm not really into any of those.
Sci-fi or action?
Yeah. Either one, I don't know.
Pick it.
I'm more a mobster guy, a real life stuff.
Action.
I'll do action.
Okay. You're planning a weekend getaway with friends. What type of activity would you suggest? Bungee jumping, relaxing day at the beach with picnics and sunbathing, exploring a new city and immersing yourself in the culture,
do
or a
that.
fun game night with board games
No,
and karaoke?
I'll do the immersing yourself. I want to go check what the locals are up to.
We only got 3 more, I promise.
Okay.
When your friend is feeling down and you need some, in the end, the questions are okay. I really want to get to whatever this crap says about you. in the end.
Yeah.
Your friend is feeling down and needs some cheering up. How do you make them feel better? Plan a surprise adventure or outdoor activity. Listen attentively and offer comforting words. Treat them to their favorite comfort food or dessert, or organize a spontaneous dance party or silly game to
Well,
bring
I'll do that one just because that sounds fun.
All right. Organizing spontaneous party.
Yeah.
I hope they include Copper Creek cookies.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure.
Yeah. It sounds great.
It's your birthday. You're planning the celebration. What is your ideal theme? Superhero theme, a cozy gathering with close friends, sharing heartfelt conversations and memory. When you say that, you got to do the prayer hands.
Yeah.
Just want to let you know that.
Yeah.
Tropical luau, or a retro theme party with disco balls, neon lights, and dance floor.
I'm going to do the tropical theme because my wife is going to be involved in this, and she's really we're going to put on the Jimmy Buffett.
I was going to say, you're going to blow us out with
Yeah,
Jimmy Buffett,
yeah,
it sounds
yeah.
like. You have a free afternoon to spend however you like. What's your go-to? Trying out a new extreme sport or outdoor activity, good book or binge watching your favorite TV show, exploring a nearby park or nature trail, or getting creative with arts and crafts or a DIY project.
I'm going to do, I think, the second one there. The
Curling up
binge
with a
wa-
good book?
binge
says
binge
or
watching our book. Yeah. I. You know what's funny?
Yes.
Is you ask these questions, I think what the younger version of me would say, and they would be different. A lot of these answers
course.
would be definitely different, say 20 years ago.
Gotcha.
But when you mentioned bungee jumping, yes, but not now.
I gotcha. Okay. I would never bungee jump.
Yeah, I did some stuff like that in the past.
So I had a neighbor of mine who he went into the Army, and he went to basic in Texas. We're still in New York, and he was a guy who went into the Army who did not really dig authority, and he refused to do the para jumping. And the line that he told his drill sergeant was, "Only 2 things fall out of the sky:
Yeah,
bird crap and a-holes."
yeah. I did that. That was fun.
And that got him busted.
Yeah,
down.
he was out. I did that. That was fun. Riding the rail. I mean, what do they call that? What do they call that when you're riding on the rail?
Oh, you're talking about
That was
Zip
fun.
line.
Zip line.
And you know what?
Thank you,
The
Evil
crazy
Scott.
thing with the zip line, you had to let go because it ended at the dock.
Oh, gotcha.
So the ending is you're going to slam into a dock. So and you had to climb this like 60-foot tower. It was enclosed the last 20 feet, but it was 60 feet, and you got on that rail and you rode it, and you either dropped in the water at whatever point you wanted to drop in the water,
Or hit the dock.
Hit the dock. That
I
was,
love it.
They did make you like do there was some like mandatory. You had to swim 20 feet to prove that you could save yourself to get
Okay.
in. So, thank goodness for all those coal mines that I swam in when I
That's
was
true.
a kid.
Last one, and then we're going to find out whatever
this
crap
is
we're
gonna-
going to
yeah.
find out. Your friend asks you to recommend a fun activity for a group outing. What do you suggest? An escape room challenge, a movie marathon, a day at the amusement park, or organizing a theme potluck where everyone brings their signature dish?
What was the question though that set it up?
You're going to recommend a fun activity for
I
a
like
group
the
outing.
last one. Again, that's the old Clint.
The
Probably-
organized theme potluck?
yeah.
I love doing that.
Yeah, that sounds fun. Matter of fact, let's do that this winter.
It's one of my favorite things when the weather cools down.
Yeah, let's do it this winter.
I do it. I have a cocktail party
Let's do it.
like once every 6 weeks.
Let's do it. Let's do it at top. We're going to invite all of our 50 closest friends. Everybody bring something.
I always do. I'm getting into doing the Oktoberfest party. That kicks off.
I love that. Yeah,
All right.
good question. Okay, how messed up am I?
View my results.
How messed up am I? Because I'm pretty messed up, and I willfully admit that.
This is some real weak crap here. You're gonna love this.
Yeah, guys, I need my AI.
You're a good person. You're more than just good. You're remarkable. While you may have a common personality, it said. There's nothing wrong with that. That makes you relatable and down to earth. They nailed you. Your kindness and compassion shines through, making you a beacon of light to those around you. You're not covering the light with the bushel basket my friend. You embody the true essence of goodness, always ready to lend a helping hand and make a positive impact on others. Your love of the game of baseball is annoying and over the top. Oh no, that wasn't on there.
There's a little editorial comment right there.
Embrace your commonality with pride, knowing your sincerity and generosity sets you apart in the best possible way.
You know, I love all that.
Whatever that crap
I would
was,
agree with every bit of that except the common part. And here's why I'm going to say
true.
that. Here's why I'm going to
That's a
say
good
that.
thing.
And that's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. Again, I'm going to go back to Reader's Digest. My favorite part of that book was always my most unforgettable character.
Oh, sure.
Those are not common people. Matter of fact, I don't necessarily try to jump outside the box and be uncommon.
Right.
But there's nothing common about. I'm a common person. Don't misunderstand me. But I'm not. I don't consider myself to be any more than you would be considered. Yeah,
I consider myself a different bird.
Yeah, definitely.
So, there it is. That's our fairy.
David's back at
fairy
30. Yeah,
sound.
he's getting ready to pull the plug.
No, I'm not pulling the plug yet. I got a question for you.
Oh.
Okay. So I just want to end with some funny stuff. What is something you can say to a newborn to toddler child that you can't say to an adult?
Newborn toddler child. You can't.
Like, what are some things you can say to a newborn to a toddler child that you can't say to an adult that would be offensive?
I'm happily going to clean your diaper because I love you.
I don't know what to do with that one, David.
Yeah.
I feel like in the end, it's whatever I say is going to get me in trouble when I say it.
Do you have any suggestions for us?
I feel like this is what's Evil Dave's name? This is like Evil Dave.
Oh, well, it's just funny because, like, I told my kids when they were little, like, oh, you look at you little chunkers. You know?
That's true.
Hey,
you
David.
cannot call.
Dude, not when they were little. Your kids are little. Not when they were little.
Nathan was a little chunkers for sure, but like
That's
you
a
can't
good
go
one.
in.
That's a
you
good
can't
one.
go and tell an adult, hey, you're a little chunkers.
No, that's an HR meeting right there, buddy.
Yeah.
I just use an endearing term I'd use with my own child, little chunkers. I was looking at your sales report, little chunkers, and I think if you worked on more of your closing skills than little chunkers, you'd make more money.
Yeah, that's funny.
So good, well played, David.
You're welcome.
I just didn't know I was going to say little chunkers today.
Now you know. Been reinforced. You asked me this personality test. I'm reinforced why I never take these. They pop up like
Frozen. Hey, you're frozen. I don't know what happened.
What happened?
Your
Who's
camera
frozen?
froze on you.
Who's froze?
Your camera is. I don't know.
Well,
I have this.
You
so-
mean just on him?
Yeah,
Or-
just on him. It's
Well,
frozen.
that's okay.
Look, ready? Here we are.
Take us
Look
out. Take us out.
Here's
Let's
the
see Clint by
Chris-
himself.
Clint in the past.
Yeah.
Oh,
There he is. Look at him.
my God.
Yeah, he's stuck in
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Clint,
Yeah.
we need you back, man.
Yeah.
Where you at?
Yeah.
There he is again.
There's a dog-
And
It froze
so-
once you said the little chunkers thing. It's very bizarre. I don't know why.
it's like, no.
Clint Peak, is he live or is he Memorex, as we like to say?
What was that? Max Headroom.
That was just actually that was well he might have
What
said
was
that.
that?
That was that was the ad for Memorex tapes.
But the
wanted
guy
to-
that actually did that, remember that
Maybe it was Max Headroom.
Max Headroom broke. Yeah, I'll have to Google that. We'll talk about
That
that
is
next time.
another episode of the Working Title Show, ending with little chunkers. You heard of little fuckers. This is different. Little chunkers.
Close the front door.
So, Clint, thanks for a nice
My pleasure. Working title.
54 minutes of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And David and Evil Scott, thank you for all your efforts. Good job as always. Appreciate it. And remember, LTD Media for all of your podcasting, advertising, digital advertising.
And Wake Up Tucson, KVOI with Mr. DeSimone 629. Monday through Friday.
Yeah, tomorrow we're kicking off our America's Best Mexican Food interview series with the amazing Juan Almanza from El Taco Rustico.
What time will that be?
7:30 in the morning for
Oh, that's
Juan.
perfect.
I'm on from 6
He's
to 9.
6 to 9. I'll be tuning in 7:30. That's my drive time.
He does probably one of the best Mexican
Looking forward to
restaurants
that.
in the United States of America is Juan. He's over on Taco. He has 2 locations, one on Park and 22nd, but the original, the OG, is on Oracle and Grant. So
Beautiful.
All right, everyone, have an amazing day. And as Dave and Clint would tell you, just live the damn dream, for
Live the
God's
dream.
sakes. So, all right, everyone, have a great day. We'll see you next week.